Hello, everybody. My name is Oliver Bass, otherwise known as Bass from the Past, joined alongside by none other than Pyro J, and welcome to the Esports.net Recap Show. This is a show recapping key moments and key events from around the world of esports in the last week. And Pyro, we have a lot to talk about here today, because esports has been popping lately, and the first thing we got to talk about is how Call of Duty, with their new title, have now started popping as well. CDL, the Call of Duty League, is just on the horizon, and we've got a LAN less than basically a month away.
Yeah, I mean, talk about popping. Like you said, Bass, they're getting started early. They're getting started quick. Within the span of about 6 months, I think it's December to May, we have 5 majors for Call of Duty League. That's their 2023 season schedule, despite starting in December. But yeah, it makes sense. Only 1 month out of 2022. And, you know, if you're into the details of those lands, some of the locations announced, I mean, we have North Carolina as that first one with a pretty low pay as well. If you want to enter in and witness that, it's coming up really quick though. That's the one part about it. It's a very accelerated path, very ambitious, Bass. But we also have some things kind of clarified in terms of some of the game modes: search and destroy, hardpoint, control. These are all game modes that are very well known in the COD League industry, as well as some of the you have guns, perks, kill streaks, restrictions all across the board to be able to standardize and get kind of a fair, kind of a realistic competition going for these competitors, Bass.
And I'm very excited for that as well. Again, you and I have been talking about the Call of Duty just as a whole here on the Esports.net Recap Show for the last couple of weeks. It's been very interesting to see as COD has kind of progressed and, I would say, moved into this new era. Because again, Call of Duty is now on a 2-year schedule. The 2-year schedule meaning that there's going to be a new title every 2 years. And they didn't switch that because of the fans or because of just random people. They did it specifically for their esports leagues. They recognize how important these esports leagues. They understand that if they want to have a thriving esport, they needed to make these adjustments. And now that these adjustments are here, here's where we really get to see, were they worthwhile? Was this an adjustment that was worth making, or is this not necessarily going to do well? Because again, Call of Duty is having its most successful launch of all time, combined with some of the best reception for this game I've ever seen. People seem to be extremely positive about Call of Duty as it stands right now. So this Call of Duty League, CDL, is really going to be the tester to, was this the best decision? Because so far, all the signs point towards yes, but at the same time, you and I had our concerns when we found out that this is when the LAN's coming up. We start December 2nd. That's when the qualifiers start for this. They go all the way till the 11th, and then the 15th to the 18th of December is when the actual LAN goes. Call of Duty came out like a couple weeks ago, so they basically only get like a month and a half to feel out the game, and then we get to see how do they feel about it on LAN.
Yeah, I think the most interesting part about that accelerated schedule, Bass, is we're going to see a very clear progression from the first major to the 5th major in terms of the competition that stands forth. This first one is going to feel very fresh. New game, new maps, new everything, and, well, new competitions as well. You're going to compare that first major to the 5th major, and those teams that win that first one, they might not be the same teams that win the next one, because although these are going to be Call of Duty season veterans, this is still a new game, will be out for 2 years, and there has to be those adjustments made and available. And I'm sure that these restrictions that they put out as well are going to be adapted over time, things that these professionals are going to have to adapt to and learn to as well. So, like you said, Bass, that Call of Duty League, it's going to get started in December, but we have a different esport with a different lane that's getting started even earlier than that in this month of November.
Absolutely. We also got to talk about Riot is now launching a standalone women's league for League of Legends, which is huge for a number of reasons. The main reason that this is being launched in the first place is that Valorant, another one of Ryan's clients, has actually had a very, very successful women's league in Game Changers. Game Changers so successful that they even have a LAN in Berlin coming up. So it's been huge. Game Changers has been an extreme success for these guys. Whether or not you look at the statistics and go, well, is this going to be comparable to their main platform? That's not what this is about. This has nothing to do with Valorant's professional league. This has nothing to do with LoL's professional league, but giving a safe space for women and non-male identifying people to compete. And that's a big thing in esports. I think you and I can both attest to this, is that there is a lot of hostility towards people that are non-male within esports. And as much as we try to fight against it, it's not always the safest of spaces. So the fact that we now get a league like this, what it is being called the Rising Stars, 3,000 euros on the line, it's not the largest prize pool. What it is a great start for League of Legends and their women's scene.
It's not the largest prize pool. It's not even the largest demographic in terms of countries that we're going to see. UK, Scandinavia, Ireland, and other EU regions will be open to participating in this, but it's exactly what you said, Bass. It is that trial version. It's that first one. You can see almost game changers of Valorant being that trial, being that kind of test dummy of, okay, how can we really work out the kinks in terms of getting the organization ready, making sure this is something that can be sustained over a long period of time, making sure their gender verification process is as exactly how they want it to be coordinated. They've kind of fine-tuned these details and shown that there are successful parts of this that can now be implemented to League of Legends. So to see Riot make that transfer, and in a lot of ways, not be the first esport, but be one of the pioneering esports still to carve out this path to give opportunities to non-male identifying genders, people of those genders, it's a good thing. It's a great thing. So we can only hope that this first segment of the Rising Stars is as successful as they're putting it out to be. And like we said, yeah, signups are already available. They closed the 22nd of November, and that event will occur the 26th and the 27th of this month.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's a very quick turnaround, but at the same time, it's an online event only, so there doesn't necessarily need to be as much prep time. The biggest prep time is, like you said, going to be making sure that we verify all of the participants as non-male, because that is a very important thing. Unfortunately, through many esports, we have seen people try to slip into these tournaments and go under the radar, and all it ever really does is diminish the work that is actually being presented. So, huge shout out to Riot for what they are doing here. I think it's an awesome thing to do. I'm also a little bit biased. I have a lot of friends that work on game changers within Riot as well.
Me too. Yeah.
I also have friends who have worked on other women's leagues as well, including ESL Impact, which has been a huge women's league in CSGO. And then I also might have some participation within the women's league within Rocket League. We'll find out. Anyways, regardless, I'm excited for this. I think it's a really big thing. I'm glad that they are doing it. Like we said, it's something that is not just necessary, but it is really something that is for the future of esports as a whole. Making sure that we get as many people involved in the esports, no matter who you are, is the biggest part of this, because if we want the esports to succeed in the future, it's got to include everybody. There's no two ways about it. So I'm excited for this one, but at this point, our excitement has to sort of be a little bit timid for now until we see what the results are. And well, at this point, you guys are going to have to sit and wait as well until the next show. That is all that we have got for you guys here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, my name is Oliver Bass, joined alongside by none other than Pyro J. Hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for more content next week. Have a good one.